everybody, I'm Dr. Audrey Robinson, play therapist for the Mesquite ISD Family Support Center, and I'm back today with Giving Choices, Part 2. Kids need parental guidance and discipline. Discipline often gets that bad connotation, kind of gets a bad rap. I don't mean kids need to be, yelled at or spanked or any of those kind of things, but kids do need structure and they need rules and they need limits and boundaries to help them stay safe and help them learn cause and effect. We can infuse some control into the choices we have to make as parents, some choices we have to make for health, for safety, household policies, bedtime. Those are things that we cannot let our kids make the choices for, but we can infuse some control into those situations by giving them some choices around that. Let's take taking medicine, for example. Sometimes that's a battle with kids. Whether your kids are taking medicine regularly for allergies or they're getting sick and they've got to take medicine, that's not a choice. You can't say, oh, you can choose to take your medicine or you can choose not to. It's not a choice they can make. But we can infuse some choice and some control into that situation. You can give them options like you can choose to take your medicine before your bath or you can choose to take your medicine after your bath. Which do you choose? Or you can choose to take your medicine with apple juice, or you can choose to take your medicine with orange juice. Which do you choose? Or after you take your medicine, you can choose to have a Skittle, or you can choose to have some M&Ms. Which do you choose? You're hearing me say choose over and over again. Choose, 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 because we're letting our kids know that it really is their choice which of these options. Now, I know if your kiddo's like mine, sometimes they'll be like, I don't want to take the medicine. I don't want to take it. Then you come back with, I know you'd like to not take the medicine, kind of bringing that reflecting feelings into this. And that's not an option. You can choose to take the medicine with apple juice, or you can choose to take the medicine with orange juice. See, I'm restating that choice there. And then I'm going to follow it up with, which do you choose? I want my kid to know that choice is theirs. Whether or not to take the medicine, not their choice. And if your kid is still saying, I'm not gonna take it, I'm not gonna take it, then you say, oh, I see you've chosen for me to choose, and I choose for you to take it with apple juice or orange juice or whatever the choice was. When your kids refuse to choose, they're choosing for you to choose. I know I've just said the word choose like a lot, but we're really hitting that point home. You can use choices to help enforce household policies and rules. Now, you want to do these things one at a time, otherwise you're going to overwhelm yourself and your kiddos if you're trying to enforce too many rules or too many choices throughout the day, especially the younger kiddos they are. So you want to pick maybe one rule. So let's use the example that maybe in your house that toys are supposed to be picked up before dinner. So you want to tell your kiddos, set up some kind of choice. When you choose to pick up toys before dinner, you choose to watch TV after dinner. When you choose not to pick up toys before dinner, you choose not to watch TV after dinner. And when you institute something like this, you just want to lay it out matter-of-factly, right? Matter-of-factly, they choose to watch TV or they don't. The choice is up to them. I'm not saying when you pick up your toys, I'll let you watch TV, and when you don't, I'm taking TV away. It's not me, it's their choice. If they choose to pick up the toys, they're choosing TV, and we're leaving it up to our kiddos. Now, we know when we set that rule that, especially the younger kiddos we want to probably give them a 15-minute reminder. Hey, dinner's in 15 minutes. You choose to pick up the toys, you choose to watch TV, and just kind of leave it at that. And then we come in and say, hey, it's time for dinner. And there are two things that could happen. And then you come in and they've picked up the toys, or maybe they're in the process of picking them up and they've got just a few left. In that instance, I'd reach down, help them put the last few things away and say, oh, looks like you chose to watch TV after dinner. Let's go have dinner. Now, if I come in and they're still playing, the room is still a mess, they have not moved to put anything away, that's not the moment that I'm gonna say, oh, you chose not to watch TV. I'm gonna hold that in my back pocket for after dinner, because I don't want to set up dinner to be a failure or a really rough event. I'm going to say, hey, come on, time for dinner, let's go. And then after dinner, I'm going to say, you chose not to watch TV after dinner. And I'm saying it calmly. I'm not mad. I'm not even going to go in there and try to make them clean up their toys. I'm going to leave that for the choice for tomorrow. But you know what's going to happen. Your kids are going to go, oh no, I want to watch TV. And they're going to run and try to clean up those toys as fast as they can. Maybe if I do it really fast right now, then mom's gonna let me watch TV. And that's when you say, oh, You're thinking that if you clean it up now, that you'll get to watch TV. And the household policy is when toys are cleaned up before dinner, when you choose to clean up toys before dinner, you choose to watch TV. And then you know what happens next, right? And all the wailing and the gnashing of teeth and the melting down and the crying. Maybe if I just am loud enough and sorry enough and yell enough, Mom's just gonna give in and let me watch TV. Don't give in. We are being consistent with our kiddos. And we know that they may choose not to watch TV several nights in a row. See how I'm saying it? It's their choice. They chose not to put away the toys. They're choosing not to watch TV. And when you stick with it and you deal with those meltdowns like you normally would, and you know if it turns into something that's a big deal or a physical aggression, you handle those things and there's consequences for those actions. You handle that meltdown separately. Otherwise, the choice about your household policy, just calmly. If that were my kiddo and I came in and there was the wailing and the gnashing of teeth, and I wouldn't be like, all right, now pick it up, because she's not getting TV either way. So I'm just gonna leave the mess until tomorrow. And then the next night I'm gonna say, hey, when you choose to pick up your toys before dinner, you choose to watch TV. Give her the 15-minute warning and try again. Your kids may choose not to watch TV for several days. They will figure it out and they will choose to watch TV eventually. You can institute this for a household policy that you use. And when your kids start that wailing and gnashing of teeth, it's really good to reflect what they're feeling. I know you wish you had chosen differently. Tomorrow night, you can make a different choice. Reminding them that tomorrow, we start fresh. It's a new day tomorrow. Try this with your household policies. We use it here too. Now let's move on from household policies to how we can use giving choices with limit setting and for consequences. Now a couple of weeks ago, I made a video about how to set limits with that 3-step model: acknowledge the feeling, communicate the limit, and target alternatives. And it already goes nicely hand in hand with choice giving. I'll link it below, so if you want to refresh on that or you missed that one, you can see how to set limits with kiddos. And now we're going to take it a step further with giving choices. So candy in my house, I'll use that as an example, is kind of a big deal. You know, and maybe if I were a smarter parent, I wouldn't leave the Easter candy out on the counter where my kid can see it and wants a piece of chocolate or a chocolate egg all the time. Maybe I'd put it away so it wouldn't be such a temptation, but it's out on the counter and she frequently wants to eat chocolate at times of day when I don't want her to choose to eat chocolate. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the limit. Oh, you'd really like a piece of chocolate, and chocolate is for after dinner. You can choose to eat carrots or eat goldfish. Which do you choose? So I'm kind of blending that limit setting with our choice giving it back to her. Which do you choose? And you know our kiddos, sometimes they're gonna say, no, I want chocolate, I want it now. Kind of makes me think of Willy Wonka. And so I'm gonna say, oh, having it now is not one of the choices. You can choose to have carrots or you can choose to have apples or goldfish. And she's gonna say, no, I wanna eat it. I'm gonna say, well, you can choose to, then I'm gonna take this into consequences. You can choose to give me the candy and have it later, or you can choose for me to take it and you won't have candy later. Which do you choose? Always giving it back to the kiddo, right? And I'm not getting angry, right? And so then two things can happen. Your kiddo either goes, gives you the candy, right? And then you reflect, oh, I can tell that was a hard choice for you. Thanks, I'll put it up here and you can have it after dinner. Or your kiddo is adamant that they do not want to give up that candy. Oh, I can see you've chosen for me to choose. And then you take that candy, and we all know, here ensues the wailing and gnashing of teeth, and you handle that, and you put that candy up and say, you've chosen not to have candy later. Your kiddos are going to become accustomed to this language. You're gonna feel like a broken record. You're gonna think, I'm saying choice and choose and chosen so many times, and you are, because you're instilling that sense of responsibility in your kiddos. It's that same thing and you can use it for consequences. When you choose to, whatever it is you want them to do or not do, you choose to blank. When you choose to throw your toys, you choose to not play with them. I'm just setting those limits, setting those policies and using them for consequences. There are two kinds of consequences that kind of go hand in hand with this. We don't always have to use giving choices, or we don't always have to set the consequence ourselves. Sometimes there's natural and logical consequences in life. Natural consequences would be consequences that occur in nature. Like if you leave your bike out, it rains, and your bike rusts. That's a natural consequence. A logical consequence might be leaving the cap off your markers. This is a thing in our household. My kid likes to color, take all the caps off the markers, and then she gets distracted and goes on and does something else. Well, we come back and, the markers have dried out. Sometimes it's overnight. That is a logical consequence. It's just the cause and effect. The thing that occurs next is that those markers dry out. I don't have to set a consequence. I don't have to say when you choose to leave the caps off your markers, you choose not to use them. There was already a consequence built into that action. Oh, you chose to leave the cap off your markers, and now you're going to choose to throw them away. And that act of throwing them away, that's enough. I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to take the markers away. And I'm very calm about it, because your kids are going to feel that, oh, I did this and then this happened. If I do this, then this. We're instilling that cause and effect, that responsibility in our kiddos. And at times, it might seem like we're being kind of harsh, like maybe you want to give your kiddos a second chance. I like to say when my kiddo is kind of melting down, or no, let me pick up the toys, let me do it. The very moment you chose not to pick up the toys before dinner was the moment you chose not to watch TV after dinner. That might seem kind of hard, but there are some choices in our lives that can't be taken back. We want our kids to understand. We're teaching them in a safe environment now, that responsibility, that cause and effect, so that when they're teenagers or adults, they understand there are some choices you can't come back from. Some choices are very serious and dangerous. We want our kiddos to know that choices stick. We're helping our kiddo to stick to their choices, and we're allowing them in our safety net to feel the consequences of their choices. And consequences kind of gets a bad rap, but consequences could be good or they could be bad, right? All right, keep practicing this. The more you use it, the easier it gets, and your kiddos are gonna pick up on that. They're gonna be like, oh, mom or dad said choose, I know what to do. And your child is gonna learn, and they're going to pick it up, and it's going to become easier and easier. All right, I'll be back next week with a positive video. Stay tuned.